Candice, you started your career at Torstar, big corporate setting, and then you took the leap into a startup called Wattpad. How did you make that transition?
I started at Torstar, but was doing something quite different. It was Torstar Digital. And so I've always been a huge fan of disruptive innovation and had this opportunity to do it for a big company and at a time when media was really being disrupted. But something really hit home after having done that for 7 years. Our thesis was, we want to build the next great Canadian digital media company at Torstar. And what I really realized is, while that's great, the internet is really global. And what I wanted to do was actually go and build a global platform that was based in Toronto. And so how I landed up at Wattpad is, in the early days of Torstar Digital, we had invested in Matt Golden's seed fund. And Matt was an investor in Wattpad in those early days. And actually at the same time, I had launched a product that was also a Web 2.0 user-generated content product called Our Faves.
Along the lines of creating your global platform.
Yeah, but what was different is I gave up way too early. We actually had tremendous success in terms of user growth, but we artificially constrained it to Canada, and we didn't have the right set of investors who understood how to build globally ambitious platforms. Enter Wattpad, a diamond in the rough. Like, most people thought Wattpad was the pirates of the publishing industry, this tiny app that was about reading and writing. It wasn't particularly well thought of as a big global success in those days, except I met Alan and was blown away by what he was creating. And I met some of the investors, and they happened to be some of the world's most disruptive investors, Union Square Ventures, Coastland Ventures. And I thought, wow, here's an opportunity to really help build a business that is really global and is at the bleeding edge of disruptive technologies.
So that exposure to that big thinking from those big global VCs had a real impact on you. Is there one person, though, in your career that really was transformational for you?
There's so many people, and it's actually hard to pick just one. But I will say, in the context of Wattpad, meeting Albert Wenger, who was the partner from Union Square Ventures, really changed my life, because the way he thought about building really scalable network effect businesses and also investing in companies that both did good in the world as well as could be highly successful,
Sure.
really changed the way I thought about ambition, right? And what is possible in building really disruptive businesses. And it was more than that. It was the way in which he was a venture capitalist. He was incredibly helpful. He was incredibly nice. He was really supportive, and he was really thoughtful in the way he helped Wattpad. And as you know, that's kind of the next jump in my career, and a big part of it was modeled by what I had seen.
So you took that philosophy that you'd seen with Albert and the learnings you got there, and you launched your own VC. Very exciting. What's the investment thesis of your VC?
I would call it a microfund, as I'm new at this, and it's a smaller fund. But really, I actually want to play a role in supporting and helping grow this ecosystem. And really wanted to focus on exponential technologies. So technologies that were going to be globally recognized and globally useful. So technologies like artificial intelligence, the blockchain, and we're just seeing a lot more of that here. Another part of my thesis is network effect businesses. So I learned a lot about network effect businesses at Wattpad and how valuable an entity can be when there is network effect.
Sure.
So that's another part of my thesis. And then the third part of my thesis is really that Toronto is an up-and-coming ecosystem that the rest of the world would really like to have access to. And I was really fortunate at Wattpad over 4 years in building this wonderful network of capital, customers, and talent that actually wasn't in Toronto. And so I thought, what a great way to connect these wonderful startups here with the network I have outside of Toronto.